Centre en retrait. Et but.
So we're almost here at the end of the road for the Euro 2016. And, I just thought before I do my official pre-match preview, I thought, it'd be good to do a little retrospective focusing on both teams. But obviously look tomorrow for the preview or previews as we build up to what will be the final match. Again, thank you guys for the journey that we've been on this Euro 2016. It's been swell. So what I wanted to do for this retrospective, I wanted to look back at a classic match where both of these teams faced each other, and that was Euro 2000. So before I go into it, you have to have a little bit of a backlog for Euro 2000. Euro 2000, in my view, was one of the best football tournaments ever. I believe that tournament was co-hosted by Holland and Belgium. And really before then, remember this is 2000, this was after 1998, all eyes were really on France, as in, can these guys now replicate what they did in 98? But obviously Holland, being the host nation, doing very well in 98. And I said to people that, that's the Holland of 98 to 2000 is one of the best football teams I've ever seen, hands down. Those guys were just incredible, and it was a crime that that team did not win a trophy. They deserved a trophy. So you're coming into this semi-final, France against Portugal, but before then, I thought France, they were building up, but again, remember they got beat by Holland in the group stage, and they had good games, but they weren't really their swaggering selves as they were back in 98. But Portugal, in my view, this is the best Portuguese team that has ever been, 100%. And I think what really announced into the world was how they were 2-0 down against England. Luis Figo scored the goal of the tournament to make it 2-1, and they won that game in 3-2. And from there, they just kept on going. Because this is a team with Rui Costa, with the Pinto brothers, I think, Sa Pinto and João Pinto. So this was just an absolutely stacked team. But this was really where everybody knew the power of Luis Figo. And this, because really Figo, in my view, was easily the player of the tournament, because this guy was absolutely amazing. But I think the number of this match was that it was a very closely fought match. It was very tight, but I thought that Portugal may have been slightly better. But you always felt that with Zidane in the team, you do not know what will happen. Anything can happen. And this match, I felt, ended in the most unfortunate way. And that was through a handball. Was it a handball? Was it through a handball by Javier, the guy with the blonde hair who actually played for Liverpool? And for me, I just felt that, technically you can give that, but I think for a referee, same thing with the Schweinsteiger handball. Don't ruin a good game. Unless it's a clear handball, don't ruin a good game. And I thought that the game was closely fought, it was tight, it was exciting, it was a classic footballing semi-final. And it was changed by that, and it was a penalty that was converted by Zidane. But obviously, I think Figo got sent, so many guys got sent off because they were so angry that the referee gave that penalty. And I just say it was an unfortunate, because that was such an amazing Portuguese team. But again, you look at what France did in the final, I just thought it was their destiny. Because as good as Portugal were, that French team was special. That was of Didier Deschamps, Zidane, you had Thuram, Jacques Kayev, all these guys. I think Dogari might have been in there as well. So it was a Desai, Bates. It was a classic team. But that, I think those two teams are very different from the ones that we have now. I think those teams are far superior to the teams we have now. I mean, the French team, pretty good, but they have nowhere as complete as that French team in 2000. Because that French team in 2000, from a keeper to attack, tight. Everybody was top of the range. Maybe not an amazing striker, but still, I'll take Dogari over Giroud any day. But for Portugal, that was just that was their golden generation. That was their golden team. Those were the guys. Because I think in 2004, they were pretty good. But I just think that team, because that was Figo at his peak. That was Figo at the peak of his powers. Barcelona, Real Madrid kind of time. That was Rui Costa doing his thing. So those two guys especially, and also Nuno Gomes as well. I totally forgot Nuno Gomes as well. So it was just a combination of Portugal and their players reaching their peak. And it's just because, again, people don't even remember that team. All remember from Euro 2000 is really the final and what France did and obviously what Holland did. But people forget that those Portuguese guys were good. Those guys were top of the damn range. They were top of the damn range. So I just think, like, so much has changed 16 years ago since then. I mean, there's no... Because for me, in my view, Figo is the best Portuguese player of all time. Maybe you might say Eusebio is greater or Cristiano may be greater based on his achievements. But as far as when it just goes to footballing, as a Figo is one of my favorite players. He was just one of the best players of all time. So, Portugal, they're a different team. I think for them, it's a lot more tactical. Whereas in 2000, they had individuals. They had amazing individuals. Right now, what they have is just a team. Good individuals, but they just have much more of a team play. And I think the manager is really the MVP for them. As really Federico Santos, giving them their tactics. I think France back in that day, they don't... I think they had characters. In that sense, they had huge characters. Vieira was a huge character. Henry was a huge character. I forgot. Henry was there when he scored that goal against Denmark. So the French team now, they lack those characters. But I think the French team now have more attacking options. So in attack, I think they're a lot more... I wouldn't say they're better, but they're just a lot more varied because of what Griezmann, Payet, Pogba, Martial can all give you. But for France, they were much balanced. They were much more complete. The defense was very good. Don't mess with Thuram and Desailly. The midfield, Deschamps and Zidane in that midfield. And you also had guys like Will Wilson coming in. So you had subs who could come in and were very good as well. Because Wilson was really a starter. So yeah, I mean, go ahead. I think clips of it are on YouTube. But I just remember watching that game. And I was like, man, I don't know who's going to win. And I was thinking that it was a game that it either would end in penalties or, remember, this was the days of golden goal. These were the days of golden goal, so which is what made the match so amazing, because once it got to extra time, you knew that. Because they were not playing for penalties. This was back in the day when both teams had the courage and the conviction to say, no, we can win this. And the beauty of the golden goal was that it was on a knife's edge. I hate extra time. Golden goal, I like it because golden goal is anybody can be a hero. So when it went into extra time, I was like, look, man, anybody can win this. Anybody can win this. And I was feeling like an amazing goal was either going to come from Zidane or Henry or Figo or Rui Costa. But in the end, it ended the wrong way. It was a wrong way to end. And, it just was like an anticlimax based on what had built up to such an amazing match. So yeah, we won't see as good a match as that. I don't believe, because the teams are vastly inferior to those teams. But I still think that we may see an exciting match in a different way. But yeah, watch for my pre-match analysis preview of the game as we build up. So I'll be posting a few videos on that tomorrow. Peace out. Stay true. Stay black.